heard people screaming they're shooting.
Yeah.
And that's when I began to run.
Another deadly mass shooting, this time at Michigan State University. Overnight, police confirm a suspect is dead hours after a manhunt. The search for answers this morning as students and the community are rocked by this horrific violence.
A weather alert for the day ahead. Gusty winds coupled with rain will walk you through when the worst of the weather will move through today, plus another round of thunderstorms tomorrow night.
Lamar Johnson could be released from prison today if his murder conviction is overturned. I'll tell you what 3 decisions Circuit Court Judge David Mason could announce this afternoon at 1:30.
Frustration grows for a mourning mother.
It's one thing to grieve, but it's another thing to relive the nightmare over and over.
How a newly released police report shed some light on a 6-year-old boy's drowning at a local summer camp.
Blues fans, Cards fans, the way you watch the games at home could soon change. The sports broadcast company that could soon file for bankruptcy and how that impacts St. Louis sports.
A long battle with alcoholism. The statement from former Cardinals broadcaster Dan McLaughlin about his recent DWI arrest and the charges.
Taking the show on the road, country superstar Jason Aldean is making a stop in the bi-state. When and where you can see him live.
This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
We begin this Tuesday morning with a live look at Lambert International Airport. I don't think the rain is here as of yet, although someone needs to go up there and clean that camera off because it's a little foggy. Yeah, well, it worked when Anthony called out the Deerberg sign. We'll see what happens with this camera up here. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, February the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to one and all. I'm Rennie Knott.
I'm Michelle Lee. So great to see you. We want to say thank you for joining us, including those of you who might be watching us on 5+. Of course, we are joined by 2 wonderful meteorologists as we are waking up in a weather alert day. We've got Gary and Anthony.
Yeah, so rain and wind expected for today, and that could make driving a little tough. But right now, we're dry area-wide, at least in the metro area. Showers are working in from the Ozarks and Rolla, and those should be here after 7 o'clock this morning. So the Valentine's Day forecast is a little damp and also very windy, especially by lunchtime. Those gusts today could top 45 miles per hour. The reason be it, this area of low pressure sliding off the Rockies, it's picking up rain and dumping it across parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and even across western and central Missouri now. You can see those first showers working into Rolla, parts of our far southern counties, Iron, Reynolds County. This will be working northeastward as we go through the morning, and after 7 o'clock should be here in the metro. The heaviest rain comes down this afternoon. That's when the gustiest winds will move through as well. And then as we head towards tomorrow night, another round of rain possible. We'll talk about that and show you the futurecast coming up. Let's head over to Gary and talk some traffic this morning. Gary, what's happening on the roads out there?
Well, not much right now. Good morning. We're waiting for some of that rain to settle in and, of course, the wind to pick up. And, you know, like last week's wind, it was very difficult to drive any sort of vehicle in that wind. I think that's the wind gust that we're going to see later on. Right now, as we look on 44, where some of that rain starting to show up, some of this not reaching the surface just yet, it has not impacted us. North County, even coming in from the Metro East, it's still quiet at this hour, but this is where that really heavy rain is starting to settle in from Rolla and closer to Cuba, and that's what we're going to monitor as that gets closer. Probably right at the same time, everybody is up and moving through the 7 o'clock hour. So we'll keep a close eye on that, how the wind impacts us, and of course how it impacts our traffic the rest of the morning.
I heard people screaming they're shooting. Yeah. And that's when I began to run.
We are following breaking news this morning as chaos erupts overnight on the campus of Michigan State University. You can see here students running for their lives. In the country's latest mass school shooting, 3 people are now dead. 5 more people are listed in critical condition. And just hours ago, police said that the suspect is also dead this morning. Now, this all started just after 8 o'clock last night. The gunman first opened fire inside of Berkeley Hall. That is an academic building. He then moved to the Michigan State Union building where he started to shoot again. Around midnight, police found the 43-year-old suspect dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound off campus. As you can imagine, students in the community are rocked by this violence. Here's just some of the reaction from students inside the building as the shooting unfolded.
It's terrifying, man. It really is. We don't know what to do at all. We're just listening to the police scanners, hoping for the best.
You never think it's going to happen until it actually happens. You know, you think you're safe, and then we all thought we were safe on the second floor in the cafeteria, but obviously we weren't. We were told to evacuate. We all ran out. It was terrifying. It was pretty scary.
This morning, all campus activities are canceled for the next 2 days. This means no classes, no sports, and no activities are happening.
Right now, of course, there, just still a lot of unanswered questions. We are working to find out from police. First, we don't know the motive. Police have not released any information about why they think the man opened fire or seemingly random strangers. We also don't know his name or anything about his background. And we are working to find critical information about those 8 victims, including their names and ages. Police will hold another briefing at 8 o'clock this morning. We're going to stay on top of this story all morning on air and online. Once we learn new information about the shooting, of course, we're going to bring it to you as soon as possible.
Right now, we are just hours away from learning if a St. Louis judge will overturn Lamar Jackson's murder conviction. Someone else confessed to the 1995 murder last month during a hearing.
Yeah, and our Alex Fees is live this morning outside the Carnahan Courthouse in downtown St. Louis with what we can expect today. Good morning, Alex.
Rennie, Michelle, good morning. Lamar Johnson will find out today if his murder conviction will be upheld or if he will be released from prison with that conviction overturned. Circuit Court Judge David Mason has been reviewing the details of this case and that conviction. He's expected to announce the results of his investigation and his decision this afternoon at 1:30. Now, Johnson was convicted of shooting and killing Marcus Boyd back in 1995. He spent nearly 28 years in prison. Johnson has repeatedly denied his role in the murder. An investigation conducted by St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner with help from the Innocence Project convinced Gardner that Johnson is innocent. As a result, she filed a motion in August to vacate Johnson's conviction. A 5-day hearing took place in December to determine if Johnson's life sentence should be overturned or upheld. This afternoon, Judge David Mason could make one of 3 decisions: overturn the conviction and find Johnson, quote, actually innocent, meaning all the new evidence proves Johnson is not the killer; overturn the conviction on a constitutional error. In this scenario, Mason could side with any number of constitutional challenges Gardner's office made about how the lineup was conducted or beyond, or the judge could uphold the jury's verdict. Now, coming up at 6:30, a deeper look into this case, including what Johnson claims he was doing at the time that Marcus Boyd was murdered. Live this morning downtown, Alex Fees, 5 on your side.
Thank you, Alex. We'll be following this decision very closely throughout the afternoon. Our live coverage will be on 5 Plus, KCK.com, and on YouTube. It all begins at 1:30 this afternoon.
St. Louis sports fans, the way you watch the games at home could soon change. It all depends on whether the owners of Valley Sports Midwest can come up with $140 million to make an interest payment this week. Our Sydney Stallworth is live at Enterprise Center to tell us more about how this could impact St. Louis sports fans. Good morning, Sydney.
Good morning, Michelle. That's right. You know, the Blues are taking on the Panthers here tonight, and for fans who want to watch at home, they would typically tune in to Bally Sports Midwest, but that could soon change. Diamond Sports Group owns Bally Sports. That's 19 networks and the right to broadcast games for 42 professional teams, including the Cardinals and the Blues, but the company is deep in debt. Now, we do know this morning from reports from Bloomberg that Diamond Sports Group has an overall debt of $8.6 billion. The Associated Press reported Friday if the company does not make its $140 million interest payment this week, Diamond Sports would have a 30-day grace period to renegotiate with creditors and restructure its debt, or it would be filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Sports teams like the Blues and the Cardinals get rights fees from Bally's that account for a good amount of the revenue coming in. Our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal report Cardinals President Bill DeWitt III says, quote, Cardinals fans can be comforted that our relative position in the area should be good because of our strong ratings and our great fan base. And Blues President CEO Chris Zimmerman says there's certainly uncertainty about how this is going to play out, and pretending anything anything else would be disingenuous. But the Blues are also confident they can capitalize on whatever outcome happens. Now, Major League Baseball, just so you know, is at risk of losing $1 billion in revenue if Diamond Sports Group doesn't pay up. The baseball commissioner did tell Associated Press that the league is prepared to step in if that happens, and the goal would be to broadcast the games on traditional cable as well as on digital platforms. Reporting live downtown, I'm Sydney Stallworth, 5 on your side.
All right, thanks so much, Sydney. Now we want to get to some breaking news in South St. Louis County. This is a live look at a shooting investigation happening right now at the Quick Trip on Lemay Ferry in Lemay. Police say one person was shot. We do not know that person's condition this morning. The suspect left the gas station in a car and then police chased him. Officers were able to catch the suspect and take him into custody. But of course, we are working to get more information about this incident and we'll keep you posted.
All right, let's make a shift here and talk about your weather first forecast. We do have some rain in the forecast today and also gusty winds that we're expecting through lunchtime today. Right now, we're dry in St. Louis, but as we head towards the next hour, we'll start to see showers develop in the metro. By lunchtime, early afternoon, that's when the heaviest rain will come on through. And then it starts to wind down as we head towards about 6, 7 o'clock this evening. Tonight, we dry out, and notice tomorrow all day long how we are cloud free. It'll be a warm, sunny day tomorrow, and that will give us the potential for thunderstorms tomorrow night. We'll take a look at the threat that exists with these storms coming up in a few minutes.